with Hot Rush. Let's do it! Rushing down a magnificent, radiant waterfall. Hot rush is a pleasure excessive. As a rushing down a magnificent, radiant waterfall. Hot rush is surging through me. Hot rush is driving my soul. Hot rush is surging through me. Hot rush is driving my soul. Go into your mystical temple of blazing intoxication. Feel the delight of winged erotic play with her etheric spirit climbing higher through our hot sexual rituals. Hot rush surging through me. Hot rush is driving my soul. Hot rush surging through me. Hot rush is driving my soul. Overwhelming pleasure, pure on addiction when you discover passage into a shrine of bizarre excess, where you're initiated into love's mysterious madness. Yeah, when you're initiated into love's mysterious madness. Hot rush is surging through me. Hot rush is driving my soul. Hot rush surging through me. Hot rush driving my soul. The pure fire of dissolution destroys her fleshy house. Experience her female thick body dancing on in cold altar. She's out blazing fire and infuses into you an acceleration high, upward rushing. They consumed in lunar ceremonial hedonism. Hot rush surging through me. Hot rush is driving my soul. Hot rush surging through me. Hot rush driving my soul. The pure fire of dissolution destroys her fleshy house, vanishing from your mind. Experience a female etheric body dancing on a cold altar. She's out blazing fire and infuses into you high of acceleration. driving my soul. Hot rush searching through me. Hot rush dropping my soul.
Enjoy that song. The next song we're going to do is Paganistic Liberation, which is kind of like the theme of the band, which is revolt, man. Revolt is really important. If you don't revolt, you know, you're just like a bunch of yuppie machines that are driving in the sanity of your everyday existence. So Paganistic Liberation might show you some new avenues. That's our next song, Paganistic Liberation. Sucking blood off the tiger's lips, engage in frolic hunt like warring, racing cheetahs in pursuit of a herd of prey. Conquer them in stormy slaughter, which is primordial revolt. Yeah, primordial revolt.
Oh yeah, feasting in pleasures have fun. Feasting in pleasures success. Feasting in pleasures have on. Oh!
Ancient ceremony of artistic festival, exotic acts in aesthetic warfare, engage in ritualistic dance, consuming the hot juice from each color of the hermetic rainbow. Art is the savage
Oh yeah.
Okay, the next song we're going to do is called Raw Exotic, and I think that you'll really understand what the song is dealing with, you know, the raw exotic. But what we're trying to do with the raw exotic is go more than just play in the pleasure of the flesh. Let's go through seas and transverse into other dominions of excessive pleasure. Ritualistically kisses the lunar fire. Virgin huntress with sacred erotic heat has an opulent white flower sensuously dropping from her lips. She ritualistically kisses the lunar magic.
Sensual insurrection is the forbidden extreme. Indulge in every ritual fantasy. Indulge in every ritual fantasy. Yeah.
Passion wild virgin emerges into you. Questing intoxication, overwhelming all your limits. Ripping off your flesh, which is emerging of two crystal bodies, energy high beyond any corporal fiery heat.
Sensual insurrection is the forbidden extreme. Indulge in every ritual fantasy. Yeah. Indulge in every ritual fantasy. Yeah.
Silver electric moon goddess standing artfully on the ocean's fire, shooting beams of frenzied passion, filling in your core. The thick dark gates of the mind's eye fades away, melt into oblivion, where erupts the palace of euphoria, blazing with visionary beauty. Silver electric moon goddess, standing artfully on the ocean's fire, shooting beams of frenzied passion, filled in your core.
Insurrection is the forbidden extreme. Indulge in every ritual fantasy. Yeah. Indulge in every ritual fantasy. Yeah.
Virgin bride overthrows all fleshy restrictions, evades mundane reality for a higher plane. She ecstatically cruises on a lotus celestial ship, perfuming everything with a sublime erotic, which is a pagan apocalypse.
Sensual insurrection.
I hope you found the mystical door up here. Wild, wanton pleasure.
Oh, that's a rap boy.
Like, it seems to go on a little.
Art and free expression. I'd like to know how you feel about free expression and how this music typifies your philosophy towards life.
Well, for me, I can only speak for myself. This music gives you that kind of erotic, pagan wild where you don't feel any of the normal thoughts of the everyday world. It's like getting into another dimension of energy where you're just hot, wild, and feeling total pleasure. You're not inculcated by all the perceptions that most people are flooded with, where they're worried about this, they're thinking about this, they're like living in the coffin of their own psychological demise. But you can ask these other people as to what they think about it.
I think he's right on. Music is more than just, us hitting the drums. It's music at you, coming towards you. It's just me doing this. You know what I mean? Doing that. It's really music to your heart. To me, that just does it. I really love that.
So it's like the fire and the passion you feel in your soul just exploding out into noise. Kind of like an explosion. Like an explosion of your inner soul. Cool. That's cool. Do you think that most of the people all around us have lost that inner passion, that fire of what they really feel inside? And to me, it seems pretty sad. And I'd like to hear your views on it.
Well, my point of view, as you know from being a student of mine, is that what people ought to do is take off the candy wrappers on their psyche and feel what it must feel like when they feel the sugar and rush of living. Normally, we are so straight-jacketed by our superego that we have absolutely no ability to sense anything else what society wants us to know, which is sort of a major drag, because when you're like operating like a robot, dun, 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 there's not much to living. You're told what supermarket to go to, you're told what to buy, you're told how to have sex, and when you see a book by Madonna of her strapped up there with a chick trying to dildo her, people freak out. I mean, we need to let our minds become as hot as our sexual parts, to where the both of them are fired at the highest level of energy, which our culture doesn't want us. Our culture wants us to have frozen helmets on our heads.
Supposing that, although not possible, everybody could actually live up to this and let the inner fire of their souls loose and experience this pleasure of the senses in both the mind and the body, what do you think it would lead to?
Well, it would lead to what the early Greeks were into. High art, a lot of pleasure, a little frustration, and life would be worth living. I mean, when you have all this external psychological dialogue going into a person's head, they need to get free from it so they can experience the magic and marvelment, what it feels like when your soul is on a frenzied level. That's what I feel. How about
Sure.
you?
Anybody else?
Thoughts on this?
I'm not sure.
Okay, how about anybody else? Richard? You have any- Well, there's a line that I have from one of the songs called Body Electric, and it goes like this. Female ninja warriors can vaporize the frozen siege that has waned the scurvy, the rapturous electric of the bodies blasting wild. And that pretty much summarizes what I think we need to see happen. A total revolution of thought, where all the programming, we pull off the weeds of programming. till finally we get down to what our instinctual nature is really like. And it's not like what society has conditioned us to perceive. Because the thoughts that we have do nothing but smother and devastate the energy inside of us.
What do you believe that humans are really like? If you got rid of all the bullshit, all the stuff that society imposes on us to make us follow in its own tracks and program us like robots, what do you think humans essentially are?
Pagan, frenzied sensuality all day long. After they hunt for the food and they're all bloody from the kill, they want to get down and get into that state of eroticism where they leave the confines of the flesh and they're rushing into the seething ritual of erotic heat, where they're just pleasure-oriented.
Cool. Knowing that there are far too many people for this to occur on a general level, if everybody actually followed this, which would be extremely good, but there are too many people to sustain it for very long, what does that make you think about?
It makes me think about if I can influence 10% of the population to live their lives where they develop a higher level of hedonism inside the self, I've done my job. Because 60% of the population, all they want to do is be robots. They love being robots. If they could put a computer in their heads where they would wake up in the morning and their arm would raise, then they walk over to the coffee shop and drink some coffee, then walk over to another computer and program what's in their own computer, it's awesome. That's what they want. But there are a few people, maybe 10% of the population, that would like to unleash their heads, unleash their mental fire, and feel what it feels like to live at the primordial force that the human psyche is capable of experiencing.
To truly live.
Yeah, to just red-line their lives to where they feel like they're a jet plane and they're going faster than the speed of light because they're so much into the rush.
Cool. Knowing this to be the true human nature, which I believe and I see that you believe it is, do you believe in God? And if so, God who would incarnate this kind of human nature into us, which it is, what kind of God must he be?
Well, if I was going to get into gods, I'd get into Diana, man, that beautiful erotic huntress that just is all silver and all majestic, and I definitely want to have some fun with her. So that's the only gods that I'm into. Goddesses who have a lot of mental heat, a lot of erotic heat, a lot of heart heat, and that astral fire. So that's what I'd like to get into. Not some dude like that that's dying. That doesn't turn me on. I mean, icons are supposed to inspire you and intoxicate you, get you into the mood where you're just rushing with fire, not where you feel like you're, done something wrong. I mean, we haven't done anything wrong. We don't need to have our hearts punched to death. Our hearts should be like beautiful flowers kissing into the fire of the moon when it's just red, not even silver, when it just has total fire. And that fire that kind of heats up our psyches. That's what we need to do. We need to heat up that inner body to where it feels alive and feeling pretty good.
Do you believe that this incredible fire will consume us or strengthen us?
It will strengthen you. If you see someone who studies dance or martial arts, you see them when they just fire away, you just feel that rush of energy going through their bodies. Or if somebody learns the mastery of sex and they're dancing with someone and you just feel that energy going up and out of them. Energy is great. And the more focused it gets, the higher you feel and the more enlivened you feel. But when it's out of control and just chaotic, a person's not going to get a high from it. It has to be really focused. And that's what the arts are all about. Focusing and really getting a clarity in one's own perceptions. That's why arts are good, whether you paint, whether you dance, whether you do music, whether you do poetry. It's allowing that deeper sensuality inside the psyche to manifest itself.
Do you believe that your music will help to inspire this inner fire of humanity?
Well, I'm trying to do it with lyrics. Like I have a lyric in one of the songs where art is like a allegory to nature's passion, exploding the imagination with volcanic activation, which is what it should be. Nature has a lot of energy. We have a lot of energy inside our souls. When the two of them get together, we can have this really good feeling of reverie. We need to get back to like rituals, pagan festivals. Even Woodstock was a beginning in the right direction. However, everyone condemned it. A bunch of people took psychedelic drugs. Well, they've been doing that for over 2,000 years, or maybe even 10,000 years. When you study all the cults that took mushrooms and stuff,
peyote.
I mean, it's happened for a long time.
This revolution of the mind began but flowered in the 60s with the generation of the counter culture against the stale, cold, dead culture that has been controlled within us. What went wrong? What happened? How come it's gone?
From everyone I've spoken to about it and what happened from things I've read, it wasn't people just, took a hit of acid and went, wow, man, it's happening. But they didn't really make the inner changes. The changes really didn't take place inside the human soul. You gotta actually make the changes. In order to get a small percentage of the population to a different level, they actually have to do things to make it happen. Like they just can't drop drugs or shoot heroin and just go, wow, it's happening. They have to study the arts. They have to allow their own minds to blossom. And that just takes a lot of disciplined activity. It's like you take a work of art done by Michelangelo. Say you take his sculpture of the Bacchus. If you took a big piece of clay, would you think it's pretty awesome to look at?
Hell no.
No, it takes someone's own inner mind and own spirit developed to where they manifest that. So one has to work on one's own self as though it was a work of art. And unless you do that, you'll just be another one of the rocks that walk around on this planet waiting to go back into the earth. One has to find one's own inner strength and start working on oneself. It doesn't matter whether they're Bill Clinton or whether they're a bum on the street. They all have the same inner problems. The problem is making the self whole and functional and learning to operate it in its own capacity. And each person's route is a little bit different. So what I'm trying to do with rock and roll, sort of put it into a summary way, is that the music that we're doing, which is sort of hard rock, heavy metal music, should awaken that erotic power and the animal instincts, where people should feel like wild and raw, where they want to just take their nails, dig it into their skin, see the blood shoot out, and just feel that animal feeling, that just wild, raw feeling. Or if they're going to have sex with somebody, they will just do them for hours because they're just feeling that heated sort of passion. And then hopefully with the lyrics that I'm working with, that it will go deeper into the imagination, that it will actually penetrate inside the inner psyche, the inner body, the thing that we really are, that we're just kind of, separated from because we've created a psychological personality that we're told to be, which has nothing to do with us, because oftentimes our personalities may be completely divergent from who we are, our energy levels and our feelings. And when someone's like 18 years old, they go, I don't like this reality. I don't like my parents. I don't like the society. But if I don't do what they tell me to do, I won't live. But my own intuition and my own spirit tells me, get out. And most people today are afraid to live on the edge, redlining the edge of their lives, because they think they won't get a job, people won't like them, they'll be looked at weirdly, and they'll be not accepted. And so they just act the way people tell them to be. It's no different than when you go to a screen director and say, give me a script, I want to audition for your play. So you memorize the lines and you start acting the way that the play tells you to do. Is that life, or is that just nothing more than being in some insipid soap opera? To me, it's like being into some insipid soap opera. It's not really happening.
Pretty sad, isn't it?
It sucks.
Pretty sad.
Yeah, it's bad. So I think we really do need to get into like a sense of anarchy, mental anarchy, a psychological state where we begin to pull out those weeds that have limited our energy and allow people to feel their own universal fervor. Do you have any more questions? Because we're about ready to begin.
Just about. You've done most of the speaking for the group, and you've done a really damn good job. But I'd like to hear some of the other viewpoints of the other band members. How do you, for example, feel? Here. How do you feel about how it's deadening the inner soul, and how do you feel that your music is helping to enliven it and destroy the oppression of culture?
I don't know, Peter, can you stand on that? I'm knocking on Matt's head to see if anyone's home.
No, guess not.
What was the question again?
Do you agree with Dr. Shane that society here, which programs us to be like robots, following its orders rather than making up our own minds? How do you feel that your music is helping to release us from that prison we're in? Yeah. Both. Particularly the music, since are all of you singing, or is Dr. Shane singing and Kelly singing? Ah.
Don't ask me again, no.
Okay.
What was it again?
How is your music inspiring the soul to rebel against the prison of society and unleash the true self?
I guess that would have to be other people. I don't know. I'd have to talk to people after we play.
Don't you feel that your music is helping to unleash the primal instincts, the primal passions of the inner self, and just rebel from the restrictions that society is imposing on us?
Oh, God, yes. But I mean, it's going to take a while to see how the reaction is. Kind of like, you take a little drop of water and put it in the ocean, and you got to wait and see how long the ripples ripple out, and, see as far as they go, Yeah. I know, it'll be good. I think it's not music for parents, it's more like, it's a kid thing where, like, we want to try and get people while they're young and while they're still, before they get caught in that racetrack of society, before they get into that blemished way of living. That's basically what I'm in it for.
That's cool. That's pretty noble actions there, buddy. I must say I really admire you guys, and I agree with what your philosophy, what you're saying a lot, and I really hope that you guys have that impact, that you can wake people up from the tombs, from the embalmment they're in this society, to wake up and live life rather than just plod through it as a robot. Good luck, guys.
Okay, we'll ask you each song while we go play.
Okay. Wow. That was hot.
People felt completely turned off by the whole idea that they were just part of a giant machine that was operating on the basis of logic. Now, there's a lot of aspects to this, as I say, having to do with science, technology, the way languages are used, and so forth. But a lot of artists felt that this whole thing was bullshit, and that the systems, as they were rising in the West, were reducing people to cogs and machines. They were emphasizing logic, rationality, certain types of conformity at the expense of what was most real about people. And what's most real about people, a lot of these artists felt, was their feelings, their emotions, their sexualities, their passions, even the ugly parts of these things. So in the last 200 years, there's a whole series of artists whose whole point was to confront audiences with the non-intellectual, non-rational, frequently even ugly, repellent, violent, disturbing aspects about themselves, things that the larger systems were trying to squash. And this leads us right into what we're doing here today. All right. All right. Simple enough.
Lovers and madmen have such seething brains, such shaping fantasies that apprehend more than cool reason can even comprehend. To open the eternal worlds, to open the immortal eye of man inwards into the worlds of thought, into eternity ever-expanding imagination. Energy is eternal delight. Energy is the only life.
Well, fuck it! Get up! Man, put some energy out!
my state, like to the lark at break of day arising. From sullen earth sings hymns at heaven's gate. For thy sweet love remembered such wealth brings, that then I scorn to change my state with kings. But for their virtue only is their show. They live unwooed and unrespected fade, die to themselves. Sweet roses do not sow. Of their sweet deaths are sweetest odors made, and the sow of you, beauteous and lovely youth. When that shall fade, my verse distills your truth.
Now we're dealing with love in this song, Go Out Loving. Hopefully you'll open up your hearts a little bit. This is what we want to happen. Rather than your intellect, opening the heart. What is the heart?
When thou dost ask my blessing, I'll kneel down and ask for thy forgiveness. So we'll live and pray and sing and tell old tales and laugh at gilded butterflies and hear poor rogues talk of countenances, and we'll talk with them too, who loses and who wins, who's in, who's out, and takes upon the mystery of things.
Woo! Let's go on!
A damsel with a dulcimer. In a vision once I saw, it was an Abyssinian maid, and on her dulcimer she played, singing of Mount Abora. Could I revive within me her symphony and song to such a deep delight it would win me, that with music loud and long I would build that dome in air, that sunny dome, those caves of ice, and all who heard should see him there, for he on honeydew hath fed and drunk the milk of paradise. You illuminate my heart with fragrant joy, my affection grows with a charm that is festively swirling, surge I with the fair delight of your love, your transcending kiss. It is an Eden beyond the mystique of any heavenly passion.
All right, Chris Elliott!
Who are possessed by the muses, which taking hold of a delicate and virgin soul and there in spring frenzy awakens lyrical and all other numbers. Madness of love is the greatest. Many other noble deeds which have sprung from inspired madness, beauty, wisdom, by these wings of the soul are nourished and grow apace. Break through, play it wild, free the pleasure, release the artful deception, cage not blazing through waterfalls of intoxicating high.
All right, Chris! Get wild, Rod! Let's go, Rod! Get wild! Get wild, man! Get wild, man!
bombs fly at the mere touch of cold philosophy? There was an awful rainbow once in heaven. We know her woof, her texture. She is given in the dull catalog of common things. Philosophy will clip an angel's wing, conquer all mysteries by rule and line, empty the haunted air, groomed mine, unweave a rainbow as it erewhile made. The tender prison Lamia melt into a shade. Highmost panther, your savage penetration devouring dull constraints, with prophetic marvelment bewitching thoroughly in the twilight of intoxication of your amorous rite.
Use those. All right.
To form a man of achievement, especially in literature, which Shakespeare possessed so enormously. I mean negative capability. That is when man is capable of being in uncertainties, mysteries, doubts, without any irritable reaching after fact and reason. How charming is divine philosophy, not harsh and crabbed as dull fools suppose, but musical as is Apollo's lute. destructive fire, but also the fire of Eros, and not only the figurative expression of his own passionate body feelings, not only the fantasy representative of the wish for passionate union with the external world, but also a way of representing the inner fire of concentration that this world always was and is and shall be ever-living fire. Revealed to the lover too. Every lover is a warrior. Love is all fire, instinct, that Dionysian cauldron of seething excitement, a sea of energy.
Revolution! It's an energy run! Run! Go run!
Tell me about fire. I don't need to tell you about it. You should tell me about fire. Tell me about fire. You won't find that fire in the desert of reality.
To bathe in the waters of life, to wash off the not human. I come in self-annihilation and the grandeur of inspiration to cast off rational demonstration, to cast off the rotten rags of memory by inspiration, to cast off Bacon, Locke, and Newton from Albion's covering, to take off his filthy garments and clothe him with imagination, to cast aside from poetry all that is not inspiration, that it no longer shall dare to mock with the aspiration of madness, cast on the inspired by the tame, high finisher of paltry blots, eternal vision or imagination of all that exists. No more crucifixion of the imagination. Abstain from society's fascism. Feel no more of its bloodless death.
All right, Chris.
A godlike mind soars forth, in its delight making earth bare and veiling heaven. And when it sinks, the swarms that dimmed or shared its light leave. Those who are totally filled with the intoxicating nectar of divine contemplation, beauty diffuses itself through every part of their souls. I have brought them from the uppermost inner recesses of my eternal mind. Transgressions I will rend off forever.
All right, yeah! Yeah! Get off! Let's go on!
because it's hard to do, taking these sublime poets and trying to hook it in with contemporary music and trying to make something that's meaningful for you, something that's going to be felt within you, rather than just showering you with a lot of illusion, a lot of words, a lot of intellectual garbage, which all you want to do is just get out of you. You want to clean that stuff off of you. So this is a trial. If you can help me out by filling out that questionnaire so I can really understand what you're getting from this, how we can make it better, if I'm going to do it again, if you like it, if you don't like it. So you can really help me out by doing this. How many of you felt that this is a good attempt and that it's working for you? We'll try it again. We'll make some changes. We'll work on it. Well, thank you all very much. Have a euphoric evening. Thank the band. They did a great job. They did a fantastic job for us.
It's your team.
So we did it, man.
into your mystical temple of lazy intoxication. Feel the delight of being right play with the etheric spirit. Climbing higher through a high intoxication, burning my mind. Go into your mystical temple of lazy intoxication. Feel the delight of winged right play with her etheric spirit. Overwhelming pleasure, repair my addiction when you discover a verdant passage into the shrine of bizarre excess. When you spin into love's mysterious baptism, your purifier of dissolution destroys the fleshy house, vanishes from your mind. Your purifier of dissolution destroys the fleshy house, vanishes from your mind. Experience a female etheric body, dancing on a corrupt. She's always inspiring, acceleration high. Go into your mystical temple of lazy intoxication. Feel the delight of being right play with the etheric spirit. Climbing higher through a high intoxication, burning my mind. Go into your mystical temple of lazy intoxication. Feel the delight of winged right play with her etheric spirit. Overwhelming pleasure, repair my addiction when you discover a verdant passage into the shrine of bizarre excess. When you spin into love's mysterious baptism, your purifier of dissolution destroys the fleshy house, vanishes from your mind. Your purifier of dissolution destroys the fleshy house, vanishes from your mind. Experience a female etheric body,